remind myself. I could do puzzles as well, but I think either way. Let's go here. Maybe I'll do a puzzle battle. I'll do a puzzle battle. Or no, I can just, honestly, we can just get straight to the game. There's no need to do that. I should be warmed up. I played yesterday for so long. I'm about to change the background and see if this is why I'm getting copyright, not copy, like restricted. We're going to try and use a different background. Let's play a 10-0 game here to start off. We're 22:06. We're trying to get to 22:10, I guess. This is my peak currently. So, oh, I had to turn this down. I guess I can keep this up. Let's go up here. What's going on, Rylan? Let's go up here to D4 in this first one. Knight moves. Bishop's going to move. And we're playing the London system. All right, let's go up here for E3. And we can go knight here to F3 after. All right, go up, knight here to F3. Bishop back to G3. Early, yeah, I'm streaming a little bit earlier today. I won't be able to stream later today, so I have to get on earlier. What's going on, Southern? I'm doing all right today. Having a good day. Having a good day. How are you doing? Yeah, the knight's here. And they go bishop A6. So if you take the... You could... Taking, I don't know if that makes that much sense. But queen here also, I don't love... Bishop A6 is a good move. It forces me to either take or go queen E2. I don't think you can let them capture. And you do C captures D3. I don't think that's right. Honestly. I think here to E2. Why drop? I know the computer move is to keep it there. I just prefer to not guard that. I think I'm worse at trying to protect it when it's doubled up like that. Well, you do guard that square there. Alright, for this next one, I want a castle here. Yeah. That's a personal preference. The right move is to leave the bishop on F4. I will say, I've reviewed it enough to learn that. But I just do not play good when I do it. Like, I'm not able to play the computer line. I don't like the ice. I want to keep it with the wood, but I don't want to get restricted. Man, that's frustrating. Let's go back to it. It is what it is. I'm not liking that blue. Alright, the queen is here on E7. We can go here to A4. Or rook here to E1, I think is a little bit better. Let's go rook E1. Here. Let's see. They go up, we go queen C2. Maybe now I should have won A4 then. Yeah, maybe I should have won A4 versus what I just did. Because rook E1, they go C4. Now they can play B5. Yeah, that's the difference. Alright, I'm going to have to strike back in the center here with E4. I could have pushed up. Take, knight takes. And this isn't the worst thing ever, I'll say. We're attacking their knight there. They're going to have to move it out the way. And then we're also putting pressure. Oh, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, they should have instead... I think instead they should have went queen over. Because now I can try D5, I believe. D5. D5 would be interesting. Because the queen is double protected here with the bishop and the knight. So going up, you can't take the queen and win anything. But up, take here, attacking the queen. And then the bishop's hanging. And then if they go back, capture. I don't know. I think this is the move. I want to play this. F5, you just take the pawn there. So we're going to go up here with this break with D5. Now rook E1 does. I'm glad my rook is here on E1 now. Before, I wish I played A4 first. Maybe. I still think A4 was better. They just played the wrong move. I think if they go queen here, then it's no tactic. Maybe I would have played rook AD1. But now we do have this attack here in the center with D5. I wonder how... Oh, they have to move the knight. They have to move the knight or take the pawn, right? They can't slide their queen over and the knight falls. So either knight back. I would guess they play... That might be a mistake. Because you can take here. And then the queen and the bishop is hanging, right? I think queen D5 is winning. The rook guards the rook. This is under attack. And we're double attacking the bishop here on D6. Yeah, I think I am winning with that tactic. We'll see, though. I don't think... Maybe there's something I'm missing. But even if the knight guards, you have 4 pieces guarding the E5 square. So whatever goes there, you'll be able to capture. I think they had to do knight back. They sack the queen for... But the sack is not even going to work, right? They're trying to get a piece and a rook for it, but you can stop that. So first you take the queen. So first you take this. The knight takes rook. And then I think... Oh no, they're right. If you go queen... Yeah, they do get that still. If you go queen d7, they could go rook c. So I think I'll just take this. So I wanted to go here first. I think the issue is they can go rook c7. And then you can no longer... And then the bishop's guarding that. If you take, yeah. Interesting setup. I think you can capture here on b5 though. Queen captures b5. And then go from here. So we have a pawn and a queen for a rook and a bishop here. I want to play up to give my queen some escape square. And the thing about this position that I feel good about is that we are able to attack this if they go over. And they have to move the bishop back now. So I have a move to like reset the position and do a little bit better with what I have because we're up. They go all the way back though. That confuses me a little bit. I'm not sure why they go all the way back. I'm not sure why they do that. Okay. I want to go g3 honestly. I don't want to ever worry about back rank. And going up to h3, it doesn't work. Like if going here, the bishop is still cutting off the king. So appreciate those likes there on TikTok. So I feel like I like g3 a little bit more as I cut off any back rank mate. And that is the biggest worry right now. I want both minor pieces gone. If I could do that, I feel good. Rook sliding over. Yeah, like their knight can just get away. Yeah, that's what I'm going to play. Up here to g3. I have 5 minutes left, or 6 minutes left to their 7. We're going up here, cutting off the bishop. The king now has an escape square, and I can make a plan and not feel like I'm messing up here. Let's see. You're not going to pronounce my name. Call you Joy. Want to play a game? So today I'm just doing rated games online, but tomorrow I have viewer tournaments for an extended period of time if you are here tomorrow. Let's see. But the knight is here on g6. Going on tricky. The knight here on g6. They're looking to go for the center. Maybe a rook to d1. Rook d1. And then Patty was going on. Appreciate the donation there. Then we can go here and bring the rook down. So I want to trade off anything I can trade off. Yeah, let's just get to the open file. Rook d7. And like queen b7. Because if this rook moves, we'll take on c4. They don't have the counter attack on the b file because the bishop's all the way back there. But I get why you would play that though. Yeah, we still have a slight material advantage. We just have to finish it out. We also have rook d5, rook c5. Trying to win that pawn and force the queen trade there. So a couple ideas right now. But even though we're up material, it's not... It's not just game over automatically. Like, I'm sure it's winning. But it's not like we have a queen and king versus a king, where that's like an obvious way to convert it. They still have defense right now that's creating an issue. Like, their king's extremely safe. And they go up. That's weak now. But now you don't have... Why can't you take this, though? Take this. There's no discovery. I mean, there's a discover it, but... Like, you take this, they'll take on g3. Maybe I just go queen a4. Queen a4. You're attacking this and this. Now they have to make a choice, and we're trying to guard b2. And I want the rook to slide in this way, and they slide back over. Knight in. Maybe that was the wrong idea. Maybe you need... Because you can't go rook here. I need to trade the rook. Maybe just bring the rook in. Rook here. They can't attack it. Or here. Oh, no. I go rook d6 instead. Rook d6, setting up rook c6. Yeah. Let's go here, setting this idea. And we're trying to win this pawn here on c4. And offer the rook exchange at the same time. My rook slides over. The rook is looking to go here to e2. And then f2 is weak. I could go knight here. Or I could go, okay, I could go rook here. And then rook comes down. Or they would take, yeah, here. If knight goes over, rook goes over, we go knight here. Take, rook down. I think it'd be fine if you do it this way. And they can't get too far away because they do have that unprotected back rank. And then rook slides d2 and knight d4. You can't sack the rook for... Well, they can go rook e2 now because you take the rook for free. But I think the other way... Knight d4, and that should be defended. I have 3 minutes left to 6 minutes. So we have to manage time a little bit better going for the rest of the game. Alright, rook slides. We're going to go here. Cutting off this rook and cutting off the bishop's diagonal. And now we're looking at that c4 pawn to take for free. With the queen, more than likely. Oh, their knight can go... Oh, wait. Did I mess up? Their knight can go to e5. Did not see that. Yeah, that actually might be an issue. Knight e5 I completely missed. I did miss that. So now they'll have 2 rooks for it because the rook is trapped. Can I get more material for it? Not that I can see. Yeah, knight there was a bad decision. Take. And then they're really defended quite well. So I messed up. We're going to have to take this pawn. And then they take, we take here. We will have these 2 passers. That's the only thing. But they do have 2 rooks for the queen now. So it's not quite as winning as having a rook and a piece for it. Take. And then it can go rook over. It still should be a decent position though. But the queen's here on c4. They check and go king here to g2. They trade all the way down. Capture. Rook down. Here. And then they take, then you take here on a7. Okay. Let's go up to h4. Cutting them off from getting too far down. And we're always guarding on f2. We just have to get these pawns pushed down. All right, let's go up here to b4. And because we're guarding this f2 idea, it's not a huge problem. And we're just going to push these 2 pawns down. All right, they slide over. Here, then they can get that. Right, if you just push, if you move the queen to guard this, they can get the rook down here. And then try and take on f2. You go a3. Maybe a3 for now. I need to make a move, and that makes sense. And we can try and figure out the exact way to go forward. Maybe oh, queen c5 now? Yeah, maybe queen c5. And then you can try and push a4. I have 2 minutes. 2 minutes left here. Yeah, queen c5 if they attack, but they double up. Alright. Let's go king here. I don't want to walk into a check, though. Here. Guarding that still. If they take that, we'll be winning. So they can't take that. Now we can try push up. We can push up here. The problem is, if you go here, and they go over, and then you go back, and they go over, and then back, and then they can take that. So up, over. I just need to go back here. But the rooks are too active. They can just go back. Check, king forward, here to g2. and they double up. They're going to win this pawn here on a3. I wonder if that's too aggressive, though. So we push. They're going to take. Check. We're attacking there. And we're trying to push this down. Maybe they can get both rooks over quick enough is the issue. That might be the problem with this. We're 3 squares away, and they're 2 moves away from getting the rooks behind it. But the queen is here on e5. Maybe we can take there. They don't guard it. They go king back. We have a check. This is the only thing that's keeping my winning chances alive. We messed up a little bit after getting a pretty early advantage, but it's still holdable. I think they have to play very accurate to win this game. I shouldn't lose it, but obviously that's still possible. But the queen is here in the center. We're attacking this. b6. We have a lot of ideas. If we just push the pawn down, I think that is easy to get, but we have this activity before we try and go forward. Like, this is just a threat right now. They have to consider in their calculation, but they know that's really weak, and they can't win it in one turn because I'm already on the rank here. They're taking some time with it. They should be able to draw this, but I don't think it's that simple. Because they just move the king back, you have that check, and then you win that, and there's still an issue. So they're probably considering going g6. g6, yeah. Now if I push, here now, they want to get this rook over. Queen in. I just don't think I'm quick enough to get the pawn all the way down, because they can just go rook b1. Oh, then maybe I could go here, queen c7, and then we take that, and we win all 3 king side pawns after. If they go rook b1 now, here, that's weak. Or was it better to go queen? I guess I have a minute left, so if it was better, it doesn't matter at this point. I guess that does the same thing. If you go here, yeah, that would have done the same thing. Check. Check again. Oh, no, that's wrong. I assumed they were going somewhere else, and that was incorrect, and that may have lost the game, because now we go here. It doesn't work the same way. We are attacking that, but now you can't push. Ever. I'm just going to have to draw. That should have been a win. Check. Maybe they even figure out a way to win it. Check. Dang. Here. And we just have to go back and forth. Yeah, there's no other way to do that. But there is definitely a way. If I don't go queen down, then it's... Oh, they're going to try and win the game. Here. 47 seconds left. Yeah, they're going to try and win because of time. And they're guarding that. But I can repeat. Here. Here. And there's no way they can stop it. Dude, I want to look at that game, though. There's definitely something I could have done. Let's see. I don't gain any points. I shouldn't. That was a horrible conversion. The accuracy's a little bit higher. The endgame was really bad. We can skip to that part. I won something early on. This is... Oh, rook d6. So I could have saved this. You did not have to go back down. If you go rook d6, they go rook c8. Oh, yeah, I guess because they can't take because queen captures. So that was a mistake. And then we have a couple other misses here. Queen c7. Yeah, here. You're attacking the rook. They go rook over. Why can you win? Take back. And this is what I was imagining. But I did this horrible move, which the queen c7 is not what I thought was that bad. I thought this was the bad move. Yeah, this is the bad move. That you're supposed to go queen here. I assume they're going to go king over. So I just pre-move. Not pre-move, just in my head, like I'm just going to go down. Because they go here, you can now slide back over and then take this. Man, that's tough. You could have been able to win that one. They go down, and now you just win all these pawns. And this is a win. Unfortunate. Let's go to this next game here. We don't lose any points, though. What's going on, Rob? Oh, yeah, I forgot to good reminder. I gotta announce that too. Let's go to this next game. Starting off with the draw here. All right, 2208, 2206. Can we get a win after that first one? All right, F4, D5. Let's go up here to E6. D6. Yeah, there was Rook D6, Trevor. There was Rook D6. All right, knight here. I just did not even consider it. I was like, man, I trapped it. I gotta look at those escape tactics though. We're up here on C5. Bishop E7. Knight here, H6, and we can castle. I'm not sure what this exact opening is, because usually it's like F4 with E4. This says it's the Niemowitz-Larsen attack. But their knight's here on E5. If you take, they can take. I don't like opening up the position for them, but G4 looks like it's coming almost immediately. So maybe I do have to take, because take and then knight back. Or do I go for G6 instead? Because G6 would work. Usually it does when they have E4 pushed. But now they can't ever go F4 because take, and then bishop captures. I'm not sure though. Up, G4. Seems like they have an easy queenside attack. Could I go knight in looking to go F6? Because I haven't pushed H6 yet. So the knight couldn't sit on G6. And then capture takes. They have long-term pressure. Can you go back and then up? But I guess take. That could be an option though. Capture if pawn takes. We go knight E8. And then we go F6. Because this backwards pawn is not great, but they don't have a whole lot of central space themselves. So I should be able to easily get out of that. And their rook can come up even in this current position and slide and attack. And G4 is an option in this position as well. So capture, take, knight E8. And then wherever they go, we go F6. If captures, bishop takes. Takes. I think that's okay. But it doesn't... I'm calculating this good, but like my intuition does not feel like that's a good thing to do if I do it that way. So I might go back to G6. I think I'm going to take the knight, and then knight E8. If the pawn captures, we go back, and we're setting up F6. Because there's no checkmate with the queen being too far behind, and no bishop. There's a lot of moves. You could just play this. Or F5, but I think I want to... Maybe F5 is better. Because going here... Right now the bishop is cut off, right? So that's a good thing. It's just that the position... I feel like it's pretty easy for them to get here. Yeah, they're setting up the mate. So now it's like F5. Might be better because the queen's sliding in. Or I could go up here to G6. No, I think probably still here. Versus G6. F6 I don't think works anymore because the queen is trying to slide in for checkmate. If you go here, you cut off the bishop from sliding there to H7. I think that would be able to hold there. What's going on, Jessica? How are you doing today? We have some rapid play going on. First game through a winning game. And right now we're getting attacked, but trying to hold here. I think we could go up to F5 though. And then queen slides in. And then if en passant, knight takes. And then bishop takes. And then move the queen up, you could go up. Take. Maybe they can bring the rook up at the end though. That's the only thing. Could they bring the rook up and sack after the queen slides in? Maybe because my knight's so active, it's okay. I think I'm going to go for this. Because the F6 I don't think works. The queen can slide in. This way we're cutting off the light square diagonal here. Yeah, their bishop's now cut off. And they don't en passant immediately. They can never do it. So we're going to sit with this in. G6 if necessary. And the knight slides. Yeah, so now they can't go for it. I think the issue of that is it just doesn't work. You have too many pieces that are guarding your king side. And now their bishop is a little limited. But because I don't play F6 like I wanted, I'm a little limited as well. I could go B6 setting this up, but my knight needs to get active. It's not doing anything. If we go up knight here, and there's no square, like what is an ideal placement? If we go here and then up, and then take, and we could set this knight in the center somehow. That's the best thing I could see for it right now. We could also go here. The problem with there is they could move the knight, just sliding in, or knight back, and they're just guarding the pawn in the center. Although it is a long-term target, I believe. Okay, let's go knight here. And I want him to sit back on e8, and I think that's an issue long-term. There's nothing dropping in the center. This is guarded. We're guarding that. We just need to get our pieces active. Maybe bishop d7 and bishop c6, or b6 and bishop b7. Just getting on this light square diagonal. Here, here. And now opening up that diagonal eventually. Because I do want to push d4 at some point. I just want to build up towards it. But I can't, yeah, I just can't play it right now. Maybe if I play it and they take, I have to take with the queen. Oh, that makes way more sense anyways. Yeah, because then you could be attacking over. But the queen slides in. They're not trying to give me time to counterattack. They're just attacking me. I still think that would work. My only problem is if I go up trying to counter and they just go back, take. What if they're so focused on this attack on the king side? Or like here, rook up, rook here. But that's defendable though. Like even if they got the rook to g3, I could just go rook f7. Yeah, I'm going to go for my counterattack. We go here in the center. There's no mate threat. They could go g4, g6. And I think that should work. So here, if knight slides in, take, yeah. I'm going to play up here to d5, or d4. From d5, we're attacking the knight, we're attacking that. And if they take, yeah, they go back. Capture. They get this isolated pawn in the center. Or doubled isolated pawn. So they have a positional weakness. And that's why I go up there to d4. It's just we have to make it actually a weakness. Or it doesn't really matter. Now I think queen here to e8. I do want to get to an endgame if I can. I'm going to offer the queen exchange to get that. Bishop up I think is weak because rook slides in. And it's just completely defended. So queen e8, we could go b6 after. And then line up our bishop. I think I'm a little slow because they could immediately get that in. So we're going to go here first, hoping for the queen trade, and at least queen g6 if we can't get the queen exchange. And then we like b6, but their queen can slide all the way back if they really wanted to. Knight in the center. It seems that's what I wanted to get, but now it allows them to do the same thing I did, which is attack the knight and the pawn at the same time. But I have 4 minutes left, so I'm just going to have to move a little faster. All right, we get the queen trade. I mean, I guess you would have to take this. But that doesn't feel like that's a good thing. Rook slides over. If take, take. And they have a complete pass here. Okay, we're going to capture. Capture. And now we're in a slightly worse endgame, I'd say. Alright, I want to bring our rook over so we can push this pawn and not be worried and go bishop here to b7. This is a weakness, but their light square bishop can't get to it that easily. I need to get my rooks connected so I can actually go for a plan. Alright, they push up. I'm going to go up here to b6. I could go b5 at some point, but not immediately. My knight needs to find a home. Maybe back here to c6 with that maneuver. Alright, the rook slides over. Yeah, it's not good because they're trying to slide in here. If you go rook over, it does stop that, I guess. Like, it looks unorthodox, but yeah. I need to move faster as well. 3 minutes. Just here exchange and maybe bishop b7 on the diagonal. And then the knight, although it's weird on c7, it is actually guarding that. If we could just get a position where we trade off everything and we just have like the knight guarding the other knight attacking, we could hold that. And given the time disadvantage, I think that makes the most sense to try and do. So bishop b7 next. The bishop's guarding this rook here. And go up. I just don't want their bishop sitting here on e4, attacking all these squares without me contesting it, going here. Is 506 elo good for 2? I don't know. I learned chess a while ago, so I don't remember how good. I don't think I was that high when I first started, but it was quite a bit ago. This is not pre-recorded though, no. What's going on, Shibe? Is that how I say that? And then likes on TikTok, much appreciated. Capture, capture. Almost at 600. We can go here. They're attacking the bishop, though. Okay. Yeah, you can't go here because take, and then the bishop's hanging at the end of that. They still want the file, though. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, I still have to go up. This looks bad. Maybe it's just not as bad as I'm thinking. We could go maybe g6, and then king can just rotate over. Maybe not all the way down, because they could go. But they do control the file. Anything they do, I need to stop them from getting this. But with only one rook, this is the only place a rook can be. They don't control the f file. It's maybe not as bad as it was a second ago. But 3 minutes left, that makes it as bad. We can go here on the diagonal once we guard this d7 square. Wonder if you could go knight back. You give up the fence, man, I don't know. You give up the fence of the pawn. That's the only problem with that. But knight back, and then up. And they're going for something completely different. I may have to. But yeah, knight. I want to say I have to allow rook d7. But that just has to be losing. With 2 minutes left, I'm going to have to let something happen. Here. Rook down. Yeah, the rook's just too good. b6 first, I feel like, so that we can at least consider doing that. Now there's no free pawn there. And I chose this over h6 so the bishop can't sit there on g6. That's my thought, at least. So you can slide here and down here to e8. And then move out the way. Okay. Here. Get closer to what's happening. The knight's going to slide in. They're looking to bring their knight in here. I would be okay with that, honestly. There's a check, though. Maybe I don't like it because it's forcing, and you'd have to take the knight. Or you wouldn't have to take the knight, though. Well, if you go bishop here, then you have to take. And then there, down, push. Oh, that's a game-winning tactic. I see what they're looking at now. So now I can consider going knight here. But if I go knight here and then just push the pawn up here, what do I do? Here, knight in is winning. Here, here. But they just go up. I shouldn't have taken that earlier. I'm seeing the mistake that I made. Well, we're here now. Bishop a6. I could try bishop a6, but then the rook. That's the thing, is the rook just gets here wherever you go. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. What if I go here? Knight in, down. As they bring the rook in, knight goes back here. I guess I dropped this pawn here on a6. But a minute left. I think I'm probably going to lose anyways. Trying to hold this. Yeah, it's a blunder. Because rook here, and you can't go over. So you have to go knight down, and then that is free. Because you bring the rook over, they would have got the fork there. So they want to take this. Man, they had a great game. This is a great game. We have to get out the way here. And there's really nothing we could do. We're down a pawn, and they move their bishop out the way. We're just going to have to make some moves here. And there's no fork because we have two pieces there, but 49 seconds left. That is the bigger issue with the rook here on b7. They take, bishop takes on b7. Rook down, we can go rook here to c7, trying to hold that. Doesn't seem like that'd be that useful though, but we can try and do that. Let's see. The rook here, if they take, we'll take. If they go down, immediately over. Maybe 3 minutes ago I should have realized and tried to move faster, but now I've taken note, and I just have to go. Even if it's the wrong move, just have to make moves. Rook slides, and they're just trying to get bishop here. They can just move the knight, though. Then I guess knight g7 if they just move the knight. They could go knight there. That might be where they go. You see the time. They're still using a lot of it because they're up a lot. If I can get them feeling very comfortable, maybe I can... I don't think I can win on time. If I'm moving in 1 second, they keep taking like a minute because they just had 5 minutes. That would be a trend that favors me. I doubt they'll keep doing that, though. Yeah, the rook is here, so we don't lose that. We're trying to go knight here or bishop up next. Oh, no, I needed to go here if they push. It was just there. I could go there. Like, after take. Yeah, now they can go in. Yeah. Here. And that's probably... I can just resign now. Because if you capture here... And there's no way to stop the promotion. Yeah. They take the bishop. We have to stop the pawn there capturing. And then after that, there's really nothing to do. Because you can't even go down and sneak. But we stopped them from getting a queen at least, I guess. So, you know, a knight versus a bishop pair. I don't think that's enough compensation. Check. Back out the way. And then we go and bring knight forward. Let's see. Here. And then knight there to d4. But 29 seconds left to 3 minutes. They've used 2 minutes and I've used 20 seconds. So we can keep that up. That's not bad. That's not bad. But I imagine at some point they'll also start moving faster. Rook here I think is an immediate move. Because they'll win that pawn if I... Because I obviously don't want to trade. So they could just go rook c6. Yeah, that's what they end up doing. And we get out the way. We're just going to have to move a little faster and try and get some time back. But still, 29 seconds to 2. They could just pre-move most of the moves, and they'd probably still win the game. I don't have enough time left. I should have started doing this earlier. But I was trying to calculate my way out of it. And there just probably was not a way. And I could have done this earlier. Just move a little faster for okay moves, trying to survive on the clock. Yeah, knight f5. Here. Rook over. Looking for a check, looking to attack this, but they're probably going to go rook back over guarding. If I could guard the square with my knight, that'd be very useful. But I can't figure out a way to do that right now. They have a check. We can go king f7 if they do that. Ah, they blockade it. Here, but the problem is they have my king cut off. There's no way to get my rook involved whatsoever, and I'm doing that so the king can't slide and just set up a checkmate. We're trying to stop that, but they just push up. Yes, and this is slowly going to be over. Knight moves here, and we're just trying to get our king over, but maybe not enough. Not maybe, it's not enough. We can try and get king there, but they can go rook down, and then that's game. They spend some time, though, but not enough to make it actually matter, because I was down like 4 minutes. They're a king here to e8. They're looking to go c7, I think. And then here, they go up. Check. And there's no way... Yeah, we can just resign this one. I want to see where it went wrong, though. Was I not supposed to take the knight there in the center? See the accuracies? Maybe not that high accuracy. It was, okay, 89 to 82. I didn't play that bad. It's just probably some key. I have a 3-move streak of mistakes, and that's the only mistakes I have in the game. I think that's what lost me the game. So here it's actually still a draw. You can't go g6. You have to go up here to b5. Takes. I didn't even consider b5 for that long. Like I saw, I was like, isolated pawns, it must be bad. Definitely better than what ends up happening. And then another mistake. Again, b5. Not just b5, 3, yeah. b5 is the only way out, and then after that, it's just over. But before that, in the opening, is there a mistake? It doesn't look like there is. So you can take the knight. Oh, it's knight d7 instead. You can take the knight. You're attacking there in the center. Maybe queen c7. Let's see the analysis board. c4. And then it's saying dx c4, bx c4. And then no. What's going on, Faye? Appreciate the gifted sub there, Faye. Let's go. Let's appeal this. I just got restricted. That's not good on TikTok. I'm not sure it just keeps happening there. Does not. But shout out the support from Faye on Twitch. All right, you walked in on a rapid game. We got to click this one, but it was something to learn from, I think, here. As you need to keep I need to keep my queen and rook more active. I guess my knight more active. It's better here on the 7th rank than the 8th rank here. Just not as good of a square. All right, let's go to this next game. Starting off 0.5 for 2. The first game should have been a win, though. That's the game I'll think about. But let's go up here to d4, and we can go bishop here to f4 on this next one. We're going to play the London. We have to get back to 2200. We lost it with that game, losing 8 points there. There we go. Up here, the knight here. Yeah, that's probably why. Too many dark squares. And then, it's that. I just think that b5 is the only thing that gives me some kind of hope, you know? Some kind of hope there. When you go up here to e3 on this next turn, knight f3, and then bishop b3. And then, Faye, you just get done streaming yourself? Or just watching some streams right now, midday? Yeah, up here, and then castle. And knight f3. Do I like gambits? I wouldn't say they're my personal favorite. I can't say that. I don't play too many of them. Does not contain... Yes. This keeps happening, man. This keeps happening. But yeah, for me, I don't play them too often. Do you play them a lot? Let's go up here to e3. We can go bishop back here to g3 and then bishop d3. Let's see. They go here, we go back. Take, and bishop slides up. We gotta get a win. We gotta get a win to get back there. And Alex, appreciate the follow there on TikTok. We go back if they move here. We'll go up. Back here, take. Whole study of 30. Wow. You gotta. What's your rating? That seems like an extensive amount of just for gambits. Are you a tournament player? But yeah, if we go up here to c3, we're stopping c4 is trapping the bishop. We go back here. Maybe b5 is happening. We can try and play a4 stopping b5. And then we can go here and then castle for safety. Alright. Better than the second game start. Honestly, the first game start was still the best we've played today. We just could not... I could not win. I missed rook d6. But yeah, the knight's here. We can castle on this next turn. If they take, we'll take. And we have a decent position. b5 is a possibility. It's not game losing, though. Maybe I need to go b. They take. Maybe I should have played b3. I'm not sure why they take the bishop, though, because they had pressure with the bishop guarding the b4 pawn push. Now they don't have that. And I have e4 and b3 as an option, honestly. Are there bishop moves? Let's go up here. Or do we go up here is the question. Because if you go here and then go b5. Maybe. Okay, let's do b3 with the intention to go b4 right after. Right, that's the intention right after that. Just to go up attacking the knight and then go here to a5 at the end. If they take, we'll take. And we're up on time, but I should try and focus on playing good and not focus on that part. Let's just attack and then go here to a5 and we both get these advanced pawns. Or I could capture. Wait, I could just capture. And then go e4. I could do it that way. Yeah, because they get e5 first if you just push a5. But now they have to respond. You push up here. The queen's guarding the rook. And the bishop and knight are enough to support e4. So they could take the knight first and it'd just be okay. It wouldn't be an issue. You just take queen captures a1. Appreciate that, chessmate. Thank you for the kind words there, man. Let's see. But the pawn is here on e4. Looking to exchange there. If they take, queen captures a1. They're up here. Takes. And the bishop will sit in the center at the end of that. Yeah, we're going to go for this break. I think it doesn't work the other way. If you play a5 first. If you play a5, then they could play e5. Alright, they take in the center. Knight's going to take. And then the bishop can take if they take again. And now this is not that strong of a structure. Like, it's easier for me to get to b5, I think, than it is for them to get to c3 here. We'll see, though. And that's probably what's going to be the deciding factor of the game. All right, we could go queen b1, but they just defend it. So I think we need to go for the file and go queen a2 and then rook a1, right? Because they can't bring their rook over right now due to the queen being there. Now our rook can slide over, and we go for this, and we just have pressure and try and get to this rook b6 square. But they go over with the counter attack. Was not ready for that. Maybe I just go for the capture, because my bishop's not that important for what I'm trying to do. So let's say we take, they take, and then rook a1. Because if you go bishop c3, that's just not helping anything, and their knight is playing some level of defense. So here, and then rook over here. Or knight here. So the knight here or rook over. Oh, no, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. Because now the rook can slide there. Let's see, over, if they go here, take, check, king up, knight up. If they go over, yeah, they're just safe. Man, you're not able to do that the way I thought you could. That was the thing. I shouldn't have traded, because now they're guarding that at the end. That is a difference. Okay, let's try rook a1. Or do I go knight here? Knight here, they just move their bishop. I'll still go rook a1. And then they can bring their rook to a8. We go queen b3. And we'll offer the exchange that way. Going over at the end. So queen b2 if they bring their rook here to a8. And we're there. If they take. Now we're still setting up an idea of maybe queen in. And then queen there. If they don't play that immediately. The thing is, you can't slide over to attack that pawn there because this is a free rook on a1. So queen b2 would have to be the move if they go rook a8. But they're taking some time thinking about it. I like that I have two pieces on the open file right now. They take this first. Oh, they don't even go for that. They said the file's not useful. I think it is useful, though. I think that's an incorrect way to go about it. I think it is a useful thing. I don't know why they don't go rook a8. I think that was maybe not a no-brainer, but a better move. Maybe their idea is just slide over and then g5, trying to get g4 in. Now that this pawn's here on f3. I played this before, having the pawn here on f3. It's not that bad. I like it, to be honest with you. Yeah, the king can go up here guarding if they go queen over. And if they go up, then you go straight down. Because their rook is just not active right now. They can't do anything. It can't help. They have to make a few moves to get it. And my rook is already on a open file, which is where you want a rook to be at. I'm confused, though. Why did they take that? Huh. Oh, maybe rook a8, queen x8, bishop x8, rook x8. But this is not what happens. Let's go to the actual game. They push the pawn forward. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. You can't take. The rook is too good. So you just want to go up here. I think it's just too bad of a position otherwise. Getting triple pawns, they're just going to slide down and take everything. So not much of a choice there for me. Just have to push up and avoid that. Also, because it's such a, you have to play this move, it saves us a little bit of time, which I think is a good thing. But we're up here. Anchored. King g2 can go up to guard this on f3. And then like queen a, I need to get queen a7, queen a6 in at some point. All right, here, guarding, so it's not free. Now we're going to offer the queen trade. They go after it now. Uh-oh. Well, I could still... Okay, but I could still attack this, though, couldn't I? Yeah, I think you can still go here. Because if you take... if they go queen down, rook over, rook up. I think I have to go there here first. Offering the exchange. If they take that, you take the queen. They can go in. Maybe rook e1 then? And then rook e1. We're looking to go here. If they take, you take with check. So you win that pawn there in the center. You'll have that pass d pawn, and that might be more useful than anything else they can do. And now if they go rook here to e8, we can go rook e5, and we're going to win that pawn there. And if they go rook here, you'll take again, take. And this b5 pawn is just such a weakness, and then d5 is very close to promoting. And they just can't guard b5, c4. That's why I feel okay. Okay, the rook slides up. Now this is the plan I was going for with the rook here to e5. This is guarding this. You're attacking the queen, kicking it out, and then you're looking to take this here. There's no longer some huge attack on the king side. So rook's going to take. If the queen slides down, and this is weak. Yeah, I think this is just winning. I think you have to take on h5 first, because if you don't take on h5, there are ideas of maybe a counterattack, and you know, they could go g6 to guard it if you take this first. If you take h5 first, they can't do anything to guard that. You'll still have two attackers on the b5 pawn, and there's not even a forward progress move they can make. So they slide their queen over. We're going to take this here first. There's no check, nothing hanging. Okay, just take here on h5. They could go up, but you can just sit back on this e5 square. You see you've like set up a position where it's so locked up. It looks like they should have something, but they just can't get to my king, despite it having some loose space around it. But it's not. They're not able to go through. Pretty likes their big mic. Almost hit 700, closing in on 800 there. But yeah, the king's going to slide. Now it feels like rook captures. Because you're setting up the rook b7. If the king moves, maybe rook down still. Because queen takes I don't think is necessary. I mean, I think they're both winning, honestly. Queen takes, rook takes here. If they go over, honestly, I just do this to get the queen off the board. I would capture here, taking this pawn here on b5. We're +2. And they're going to win c4 as well. Yeah, that should be an easier way to do that. And 2 minutes left for them. They don't have enough time left. If queen takes, rook takes, and then rook c5, they can't go up because the queen's under attack. They slide over. Like wherever they go, I can then get my rook here to c5. That's the great thing about this position, is the only access point they have is the h-file, and I can have a rook there. And if they go g6 to kick my rook from there, then their rook can't get there. So then they couldn't get there. Here's news sub there, David. And we got to win. They resigned there. Let's go over that game. That was a fun one. Let's see. 92.7% accuracy. That was a pretty cool game. Pretty cool game there. Play the London. This is a London I feel good about, but I don't love that they get in this b5 move. Is there anything I did wrong in the opening? What's going on, Amy? But yeah, we go up here to a4. The knight moves. I play the best move. I castle. Queen e2 is better. I didn't consider this at all. As you see with my time usage, I use 2 seconds. I was like, if you just go up here, and I was like, if you just castle like the king, I already don't make an attack until my king's safe. That was the wrong choice here. But I should have. They didn't lose me the game. I still plus 0.6 here. They take. B3 is a mistake. I did consider this for a second. You see with my time, I did consider that. I just thought that I had to stop this because b5 was coming. So I'm like, I see it, but whatever. Let's go for this. They go b5, and you go b4. If you take is not that good, because knight, I didn't even see knight takes, honestly. I was saying it because of this. I think this is a hard, yeah, this is still good as well. Although it's winning for white somehow. Is this winning for black now? If you take, well, this is still winning whatever happens. But I go up here, the best move. You're attacking the knight, and then you take because you need to go, it's saying e4 immediately instead. But this was my idea, is that you have to do this to get e4 in. This is now not the best move. But the problem with going a5 is now they can play, I guess they can't play e5, but they can set up their e5. And I didn't want to let that happen. And now there's no open file this side. I feel like I would want to have the file, and they have this. This is not that strong. As you saw at the end game, they actually lose because it's so undefended. There's no pawn behind it. Whereas this, there's nothing behind it, but it's harder to get to, right? Than getting to this. As you see, I go e4. We exchange. Taking is a mistake. I am not sure why. Rook takes first, queen takes, and then you take. This is +1. I can't say I'm that good yet to explain why this is better than what I did. Obviously, it's better. I don't get the difference. This is like the same thing, except their queen's there. But that feels like that's a benefit, isn't it? Like if you, okay, the computer's saying to take, and then here, and then here, and then over. And what do I do after that? Queen c2? No, queen d2, and then here? But why would they not? Okay, here, you must go rook a1. What's the best move? The best move here would, yeah, it is rook a1. No, queen g5. Queen g5. If they go here, is it a loss or something? Oh, this is a free pawn. Ah, I get it. This is the same thing. This is an issue now. So they have to defend it. They go f5. All right. That's an interesting difference, though. But that's not what I do in the game. In the game, I instead take the knight and go to this endgame. I thought it was good to control the open file, and I thought this was a weakness long term. And there are no huge issues. They have this up, but it's not. It's no forward progression. c3 is hard to attack because they have a light squared bishop and the knight that can't get there easily. But the queen goes here to b6, qa2. They go f5. I take the knight. This is the best move. Going back, I thought I was wrong later in the game. If you were watching at that point, I thought I was incorrect to do that. But I did make the right decision taking. My thought process behind it was that if I go back, the bishop is just like bad. Like it is nothing the bishop can do. It could never do anything on bishop c2. Let's see the analysis of the engine. It is the second best move. But I'm like, it can't ever go up. I can never force it back. I can never go there. It seems useless, and it does weaken that a7 square, so I want to take that. And then rook a1. This has to be better. Is that... you can, oh, I thought you could take. Here, I saw this, like, taking. It's because the knight can slide in, right? And then 95, king e7, rook a7. But what if they go here? Oh, yeah, the fork. And then they go king to d8. And this is just a draw. Did not go for it because I didn't see... I don't know if it was that good, but I was calculating it. But the rook slides up here, and this is where the game ends. Which I thought it was losing before this. The best move instead is for them to go rook here. Really? This isn't losing? They still lose a pawn here. Oh, because rook a3. Yeah, rook a3, rook e... Can't you go here? They take, you take. I think they would have lost this game, honestly. Here, capture. If they push, I don't think I would have. I think I would have won this. What if they did h5? h5. I know it's delayed, so I'm not sure at what point in the game you're referring to. So I'll stop here. Let me know. h4 to h5. h4, h5. Do you mean h5, h4? Here? Instead of rook over. Okay, so instead of rook, here, you're saying it's, I'm guessing you mean this. I think you can still take here is the issue. Is this the move you're talking about? Yeah, you can still take here, and then queen takes and then rook takes here on e6. That was the reason this move was so useful, because it's attacking this and setting up rook e5. It's like two ideas. It's like the checkmate with the queen and bishop, where it's mate on g7 and on h8. It's the same thing here, where you're attacking e5, but also threatening rook e4, or rook e5. So that's why that was able to prove so useful. They drop back, we take, and then here. They resign because the game... rook is better. I was debating whether rook or queen takes. I thought the problem was if they go here, How do you, like, when you just go here, rook down, you take another pawn, I'm guessing, and you just go from that. All right, but they resigned as they thought it was over. Let's go to this next game here. Oh, that's one to check. Check and see if they accepted my appeal. What is happening, bro? Violates. It cannot be adjusted. No. Okay, so for TikTok, I'm going to have to stop and restart the live. Because whenever that happens, if you restart it, it will fix it. So sorry about that. Let me just do this one more time. I am just streaming chess. What is happening? And after the stream, I'll make a complaint. I'm going to just stop it real quick and then restart it. I'll be right back on in like 2 seconds. Then we'll play this. I'll wait to start the game. And then Rooks, appreciate the donation. I missed that donation earlier. Give me 1 sec. Just have to exit and restart. What's going on, Jazzy? I'll be back in like 2 seconds. I want to hear about how your day's going. All right, let's go here. And then, sorry for those watching on another platform. Hopefully this is the last time I ever have to do this. I'm hoping this is the last time I ever have to do this. I'll have a paragraph-long complaint to them tomorrow. All right, let's go live. And then, all right. Back up. Okay. And we're about to go back to the game. Play a rapid game. Let me just pull this up on my phone so I can read their messages. That's probably not it. All right, let me refresh real quick. And then here. Okay, thank you all for waiting. Let's go back to chess. Let's play another rapid game. And we have the white pieces again. Let's go up here for d4 and then bishop f4. I'm going to stick with the London. I want to learn the Queen's Gambit still, but for now, I want to try and play what I'll be playing in tournaments since I'm playing tournaments soon. Or playing another tournament soon. But the bishop is here on g4, knight f3, blocking the attack. A very aggressive way to counterattack. Their knight slides here to d7. I like bishop d3 and knight d2, honestly. bd3, c3, and then knight can go here. It feels like this is well defended. Well defended right now. A good there are ways in the London to get a bad position when you start off. I don't think this is one of those games. We're going to go here and then c3. Maybe c3 first is the move. It might have been c3 first instead. Yeah, here, because then there you could have matched them. Now their queen's active. I said there's bad positions you can get, and this is what I do. All right, what do we do now? Can you go up? Queen takes. Rook, yeah, you can't do anything with that. It's not really possible. Just have to go b3 and prepare for c4, which is honestly, that could be better for me, but I would not have played that by myself. If we go up and they go up and I go up, do I want to go a4 then is the question. a4 to stop them pushing a4. Yeah, I like that. I don't want them to push a4 themselves. And now we're setting up c4 with c5. Up. I do like this. I want to get my king to safety first, honestly. That feels more important than anything else. But if we castle here and they go bishop in, and then you go c4, they could take. You have to take this way. I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. And I don't want to have this pin on my knight because that's also a limiting factor. But let's say we go here. If they capture, we capture. I think I want to castle for safety first before I get too into what's happening on this side of the board. Let's just get our king away from this pin. And now we want to play c4. And now we're going to move the g-pawn. I don't think that's avoidable. But when my king's safer, I feel better about the position. With the king sitting here on g1. If they take, we'll take here on c4. Looking to go c5 after. If capture, b capture c4. Looking to go c5. And if they take here, you would take. I guess you just take with the knight, honestly. We do have a lot of space on the queen side, which is usually a good thing. But their pieces aren't limited. Their bishop is here. Their bishop is here. You see they're on these advanced squares, so it's not like me having space is ruining their position in any way, right? And I don't c5. I was going to play instantly. As I think about it more, I'm not sure if that's the plan I want to go for. Because if you go c5, oh, they go c5 themselves. Interesting. That makes sense though. A counter strike in the center, and a pretty effective one, honestly. Yeah, cause take. I'll probably get an isolated pawn if I'm calculating that right. Maybe c4 is not as good as I had envisioned it. We can go here with the rook. I still can't really move my... I need to get this pin out the way. Yeah, that's another... The pin has to go. This is an issue. Let's just go here. I need my knight to be able to move freely. Let's go h3. If they go back, we're just going here. And if they take, we take. Yeah. I can't deal with that. I need my knight to be able to move freely. Capturing, though. I don't really want to capture. That's the problem. Because it opens up the file for them. But I guess at this point, I've already committed. So you're just going to have to do that. And then h captures, and then king here. And now we play from here. Whatever they take, we have something that can take back in the center. So we're not... It's not that bad, right? Our king is here guarding this. They can't really attack unless they get f5 in. But still, we could go up to g5 in that position. But the king's here on g2. Rook sliding over seems like it's a good idea. Rook c1 looking to contest the c file. If they take... You can't take this way because of e5. But you can take this way. Here. If they go bishop in, I think you have c5 to save it. Even that may not be that good. Yeah, you definitely can't take with the knight, right? And I didn't want to take myself. I saw that the pawn has to get isolated. But if you take without a pawn, the knight goes to c5. And that's got to be worse than anything else that could happen in the position. So I decided to do it this way instead. They took here on d4. Rook to c1. And you're aiming down this way. And rook can slide here to e1. The king's in the open, but that's easily fixable. Like, they can just castle. Maybe they don't want to castle, though. I could see why they wouldn't want to castle. Because I'm not that far away from just going h4, h5. And their knight even slides in. I think they're too worried about it, and they don't go for what's probably objectively a little bit better. Alright. What do we have here? The knight has slid forward. If you capture, they take attack in the knight. You could go rook over. You could take the pawn first. They take. You go rook over, but then queen over. I guess they're not going to lose it at all. Appreciate the follow there, Loazi. But if you take with the pawn there. Oh, I get it. Because if the knight goes back, then there's a free pawn on d4. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But what if instead, if captures pawn takes, what if I went knight to e5 instead there? Oh, maybe they're counting on bishop c3 to attack me. Okay, I'm seeing everything they're trying to do now. That means I have to go c5, which isn't good. Which is what I'm assuming they know that's not good, right? They must know that's not really a good thing for me. So what if I take on d5 first, and then they take back, knight takes, pawn takes, queen up. Wait, knight takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, and then what if I go queen e2? So if you do this, they take, and then queen here. What could they do? They could go f5. There, f5. Huh. I'm running into an issue of, like, what can you, realistically, what can you do? Like, taking this seems like it'd be a no-brainer good move. What if I go up? And then take... and then take, and then here. Yeah, I don't see another way to get out of this because this pawn is too weak on d4. And then here, trying to get some level of exchange. And if you take this and they go up, you see they have that diagonal attack. So we're going to move this knight forward here, attacking their queen. Oh. This is hanging, though. So take here. Wow. This is more complex than I had envisioned it being. Maybe I just have to sit. I don't think I'm able to move anything. We can go rook over. Maybe queen up and then rook here. I don't think I can really exchange anything. Rook can slide on this open file now. Here, there's no free piece that I can see. They go up to f5 still. Trying to open my king side up. We're going to have to capture or push. I would imagine I don't want to do either, really. Maybe I let them take. Yeah, I can just let them take it and then I get the h-file. But they've already got what they wanted from this. If the knight goes in, they go here. Oh, yeah, if the knight goes in, they take, and then this is free. So that's the issue. So I need to move this knight out the way then. Oh, no. Then the rook is free. They thought this through a lot, and it is looking like it's going to pay off for them. I didn't think it was that good of an idea when they played it. But now that I'm seeing it in action, it feels like a great move. All right, let's go here, queen to e2. And then we go queen here on this next one to d3. Also looking at queen here, if we could ever... That is not that bad. They queenside castle. They want to be away. Want to be away from that. Okay, rook's going to slide over here now. Getting out the way of the pin. Now we can move pieces without feeling too weird about it. And we could even rotate this. And then go here and maybe go bishop down somehow. I think the issue with taking the knight now is they get this open file. And we got our kings on different sides of the board. But I have 2 minutes left. Alright, we gotta go. Now I like queen in, honestly, because take doesn't feel like that good of an option. Yeah, I think queen b5 next turn. So we have enough pieces guarding this. And we're going to slide the rook over if we need to. If they put more pressure. Let's offer this queen exchange. I need this diagonal clear. And we have 2 minutes left. Alright, they're going to go over with their rook. Let's go over with our rook here. Oh, that might be wrong. Because now if you lose this at the end. Rook slides, they can take. Knight takes. And I think they realized it because they played it so fast. They must see why that works. Alright, if we capture. And then go knight here. To g5 to guard this. And this, they can't take this with check. So you go here now, attacking the rook, and then you are... It's a counterattack. But we don't lose a pawn this way, at least. We would have lost a pawn the other way. So it does that. It does that one thing. But we're down 3 minutes. I'm going to have to speed up some. Although easier than the last time I was down a lot on time. Because it's pretty simple ideas. You're just attacking this. You're attacking their rook. So I'm going to win something this next turn. Oh, is there a rook trapped? Oh, no. It's just trapped, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. They go rook h4. I go bishop g3. And they can't save it. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they realize it, so they just move their knight out the way. All right, let's just capture and then take the queen. Let's see. Just take queen next. You're going to have to take back. You take this, and it's what should be a winning. Is it winning, though, if you trade the queens off? I don't know if that's winning. Because you take, how would you ever break through? I don't know if you can do that, to be honest with you. I don't see a way you could ever really break in. Let's go queen down instead. We need a, there's no file for our rook to get on right now. Having two rooks wouldn't be as good if we can't, there's like no open file. So having the two rooks would be pointless. So queen down here, a minute 30 left. Man, we're cutting it close on a winning position, but we have enough, it's not quite enough time, but it's not no time. Like there's sometimes it's like, yeah, there's no way you can win this one. We could go bishop in, but that doesn't feel right. Rook, maybe rook up and then bishop down. A minute 20, that took 11 seconds, but I think that's the move that I want to play. I need to keep the pawn breaks an option. And now bishop here, if the bishop's gone, that's weak, and that creates a whole new world, basically, with rook c2 and then bishop d2. But I have to play it quick. Maybe I could have traded queens and then. Now I can trade queens, I think, because now if you trade, you have that bishop b2 move. But I think I'll keep the queens on because it's easier for me to see it this way. But I think now it doesn't really matter how you decide to do it. Yeah, we go here next. And then boom, we're attacking on the angle. What's going on, Alex? Head out. Catch you later, Southern. Thank you for tuning in, bro. Thank you for tuning into the stream. But bishop d2, and then we look to attack on b4. A minute 20 though, so we're getting to bullet time. I'm just going to have to go. But I've played bullet games with less, you know, it starts with a minute. I've made tough decisions with less time than this. So we're just going to go over here now. Hopefully they exchange. Yeah. And now we have an open file to work with. Okay. Oh, they get back to defend it. Well, maybe here then. Okay, let's go here. If they take, we're going to take there. And I want to get this rook and then go maybe rook c5, but you can't get rook c5 instantly because the knight there. All right, they're speeding up as well. Maybe to a fault because I think they've made a few inaccuracies. They got to go rook c8. They resigned. Wow. They could go rook c8 maybe, but they just think it's over. This is my new peak, 22-14, new rapid peak, 83.7%. Not the best game I've played, but definitely, yeah, this middle portion, I don't know, I don't think anyone can really see it. We both have, it's like, it goes mistake by me, mistake by me, mistake by them, blunder by them, miss by me, mistake, mistake. So we had a rough middle game, but we had a good opening, I think. Feature that Rodrigo and Johnny. But let's go through the game. I went d4, they go d5, bishop f4, knight f6, e3. Yeah, this is the London. I play the London if you're new here. That's this part's not a surprise. I did take some time on bishop d3. You see by my time usage, I spend more time than like blitzing out the moves because I know in some Londons you can't play bishop b3, like some of the move orders. So I had to think about it, and I was like, well, it's not that bad. Like sometimes this is a miss or a mistake when the queen's active, and I can show a game maybe later. Maybe not this stream. I can show a game from a tournament game that I played, and this is a mistake. So I have to think about it, but I came to the conclusion it's not that bad. Although h3 is better, didn't really consider that. It was either this or knight d2 or c3, and I chose bishop d3. They go up here to c6. I should have went c3 here, I think. Yeah, but it's saying, no, this is the second best move. I could go h3 still. They go back. Do you now go knight d2? Or you just castle immediately? Well, if they go queen b6, how do you delay? Oh, you drop the pawn here. Yeah, I've gone through this a lot, actually. Now that I think about it, I've seen a lot of calculations where you have to drop b2. But I don't see that at all, and I decide to instead develop and go b3. c4, again, dropping it. I just don't think I'm quite there yet to lose material for no reason. Taking on it, obviously there's a reason. But in my mind, like, why am I? This is just positional. And I can sacrifice for what is an obvious attack. Like, there was a game I played in an online tournament. I sacked a rook for a knight and 2 pawns, basically. But, like, that made sense, and you could see how it's winning. I'm not at the level yet where I can sacrifice, and it's just a completely positional. Like, that was positional, but it was also like, well, there's no way they can do anything. This does not feel the same way. You drop it, you would think they can maintain it and maybe go on to a winning endgame, but they can just trade down. They go a5, I go a4. Another inaccuracy. I consider c4. I didn't consider h3. c4 would have been fine. I thought after c4 and here, and then here, I thought this would become an issue. Or the same thing here. This is the dark square queen placement. This is better, but I think this is the similar idea, yeah. I was worried about this, but apparently you can play that, because after queen c1, it's okay. But that's not what I saw. I just saw them getting a pawn all the way down, and I can't go a3 to guard b4. So I decided to instead go a4, stopping them from pushing it themselves, because I felt like that'd be a good thing. But that wasn't an accuracy. They go up here to e6, I castle, bishop slides. c4 is the best move. And I came to that conclusion because you can't let them go bishop c3. Like if you go, I would not have done this, but had I gone king here to h1, this is just, or it's losing. This is okay too though, no? No, that's a miss. They have to go here. And then I have to go here. Alright, I would not have found this honestly. So I'll take back what I said. But I saw this and just not being aggressive c5 felt like an issue. So I went for c4. They push up here to c5. I go h3 finally. And then g4, a mistake. Now you're supposed to take here in the center first. Pawn captures. And in hindsight, I came to that conclusion in terms of the position, but I didn't make the move. And what I mean by that is that I realized it's not good if I let them take it. But I didn't see another way to do it. And I didn't see that I didn't consider taking first for some reason. But I knew that it was bad if they took first. You would think that means I come to the conclusion that I should take first, but that's not what I came to the conclusion of. I go up here to g2, captures. Like, I did not think this was that good, because here, and then here's some counterplay, but this is isolated. It doesn't feel like it's that beneficial, but I, for some reason, did not consider taking in this position. I know that for next time. We take here on d4. The knight slides in a mistake. Did not feel like a mistake. I thought they were just winning after some time. Like at first, I guess I was confused at first. So I guess my initial reaction was correct. But after some time, like, whoa, they're kind of winning. And you see I take 3 minutes on the move. And you can just take back. Which is my first thought was taking back and going here. I just didn't think this was that good after f5. And bishop back. Apparently this is okay. Because like the queen's guarding this. They have this pawn cluster that's on my king side. Maybe what I'm missing is that you just have the center counterplay. Yeah, just center counterplay. I didn't think that was that good. So I instead go c5, a miss. I go rook over, a mistake, and then go here to f5, which is what I was worried about in the other line. This way I wasn't as worried about it. And I go queen here to e2, trying to get out the way. Why did I go there? Oh, to go here. And I need to attack that, but I can already see, even though I just played the game, this was not a good idea without even the computer saying it. Should have went bishop here instead. I would not have played that if I'm being honest. Knight takes, oh, maybe because rook takes yeah, so they can't take back. That's why. Well, I didn't see that during the game. And instead I go rook here to c1. They move rook up, a blunder. You could take this now, I think, because the rook is almost trapped now, right? Yeah. And they go back. Oh, they go back. You have a fork. I find this eventually, but not in this exact move. And now I do it. And then knight here, and you take this. Oh, it's better to go rook to c2. I'm not someone who's going to delay material winning unless it's super obvious, and this one's not super obvious to me. So I instead take the rook there. We go queen in. I don't think you can queen trade. I think that's just, this is still winning. Maybe because of rook c2. Oh, you have this pawn break. I didn't see f3. Because I didn't see any pawn break, so I was a little bit worried about trading queen, so I avoid it. But now we're okay. When they take, we slide rook over, rook down, take, and they resign. They could have played on because I have a minute. Rook c8. I think you have to play rook c8, because if you try and you can't even guard this, but say you went over for some reason, rook c2, I think is just winning. And they go up, and you have this rook sliding down, and they can't stop you. You take check here, and then you can go here, and you're still winning that, you're still winning that. But they resign on this, in this position, because they just think it's losing, and it is losing. But with a minute left to 3 minutes, they could have tried to play on. Alright, let's go to this next game. Let's see if we can get a win here. Alright, we're at our new peak, 22-14. We get to 22-20. Because every win at this point would be a new peak. White 3 straight games. Very unlikely, 1-8, but I guess still double-digit % chance. Their knight's going to slide here and then go up here to e3. The same opening ideas. Except they go for the fianchetto bishop. When they fianchetto, I go bishop e2, and I didn't come up with that myself. I saw some I was shown some grandmaster games, and I usually do that as well. What I've assumed, I haven't asked a grandmaster obviously, but it seems the idea is that if you're up here, there's this e5 push, take, and then e4 idea that would happen if you're on d3, whereas when you're on e2, it's not the same type of issue. So we're gonna go knight here to d2. I'm considering c4. Oh, they go straight for the center. Take. And then I can go up here to c3. Yeah, because they capture knight takes. And this is already a different opening than the last time we played the London. Their bishop slides in. Let's go knight here to b3. Very interesting opening. I don't know though, because if you take knight takes here, that makes a little more sense to me. This feels like it's a good idea, almost, but then knight a5. Then you could go queen up, but their knight can sit on this square right now. That's probably, yeah, that's the bigger issue. The knight can sit on that square. So let's take, and then go knight here, trying to contest that, and now we can do some thinking. But the problem now is they could just go c6 if you ever go up. We do have a good bishop, and we can get back in the corner if we need to. Yeah, the knight's here looking for an exchange on e5. If they take, bishop takes, yeah. And just the bishop pair remains. Yeah, that's weak. But they get enough time to defend just about everything. We go here attacking with this amazing dart square at bishop that they can't really contest right now because the bishop can't just go bishop e5. They might go rook over trying to make that happen. a4, a5 though. I need to strike quickly while I have. What's going on, Jazzy? Appreciate those likes, Jazzy. Oh, okay. Leaving at 5. So we can get, maybe this might be the last rapid game. We can do a couple blitz games. I do have to head out after celebrating Pop's birthday. But the queen is on b3. We're attacking on b7, trying to win that. And I appreciate these likes, Jazzy. You're closing on 300, and they move the queen. So you can't go a4 now. That would be quite the mistake, quite fatal. What can we do instead? I still want to go, honestly, I still want to go there, but it doesn't make sense. Maybe I can take, and then they go ax b6, and I go a4, and then we try and go. I could make that work, honestly. I can make that work. So take here, a4. Now they can't push, and you're setting up. Oh, but if they play bishop d3, if they find out what I'm trying to do, it wouldn't work. Okay, then. Okay. What if I go here preemptively, bishop down? So now we're cutting off the diagonal on a6, and then we could take, if they don't make a move that stops taking, and then down, you win the pawn there. I think that makes sense, because also the bishop on here is not doing anything at all. And it's stopping bishop d3, bishop c4, which is good anyways. And now rook here doesn't actually work. So you're setting up this, and then here. And the rook can't slide, you're going to take the pawn. That's the tactic, but they have time to calculate through that and see it. And then Dallas, appreciate the follow. That's the idea, at least. And even outside of trying to win this, that's why this move I think is so good. And we review it, it'll probably be one of the top 3. Even if you don't do this tactic, or get this tactic, which is pretty obvious. I think a 2200, like I see it. Why would he not see it? So I assume they'll see it. But even if they see it, it stops bishop d3. So it's a defensive move with the benefit of maybe being an attacking move. And like this is fine in itself. Yeah, they see it. I thought they would. But it does stop bishop and bishop c4, which is a good thing. Appreciate that compliment there. I try and explain it because one day I was asked, I'm like, yeah, I guess I don't do a good job of that. So shout out Iba. That was the first time I was like, yeah, I need to do a better job. But the rook is here on c8. We can go b4 or rook b3. I think either way, I guess b4 is a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better. Because now if they get c5, g4 is not bad either. Because at this point, with no queens on, getting an initiative is a good thing. Rook d1, I have a few options. Sometimes that's the issue with the position. You have too many choices to make. You could go, okay, you could go g4, you could go b4, you could go rook a2. Well, I actually can only go rook a2 because they can go there. So b4, or g4, b4, or rook a3, because rook a3, bishop back, you can go there. And then up. Huh, you can't really do that either, honestly. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to do this. This, if they go down, you have to go up. And then here, up, here. Yeah, I think I have to do it this way. Attack the bishop, try and kick it out. They go down. You have to. This is the same thing I tried to do to them with theirs. They are setting up right now. But this is enough. And we have the semi-open a5. I just can't get to a square. Oh, I could have went rook a5. That's what it is. And there's no square I can get to really that attacks. But rook a5, their bishop can't attack me. If they go up, yeah, that's a miss. That's a pretty big miss, honestly. Because now they go here, I have to wait a move, and they can try and stop rook a5. Maybe they don't see that. Yeah, I'm saying. That's not super obvious, so I wasn't as certain they'd find it with the other thing. The other thing, I would have been shocked if they didn't see that. I think you can try this. The problem now is there's some counterattack, which is why g4 is not that good, if I would bet. Because now you go here. They could go there. Take. I mean, I'd still rather. And they could just go a6 anyways. Well, I have to play something, so let's just try this. Maybe they mess up and play that, which I doubt. They probably just want to go a6, and then I can go b4. Let's see. b4. Or at that point, I could have just went b4 this turn. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I could have just went b4 now. And then the same thing could have happened. Well, now we control it this way, and then maybe we get this in. But I had to make a choice. We're down some time. I need to even that out, or even gain some time back. So I don't think I made a bad decision. Just probably not the best decision. But yeah, rook's here on a5. The other rook can slide over, doubling up and attacking on a7. But they have a6. They can't push. They're not going to push b6. I think that's losing. Maybe not losing, but it'll be. I think I'd win it. Like, I think it's hard to defend. And I don't think I'd defend it either. Like, I think if you just play that, it's harder to make more accurate moves with black. But I think they'll play this, and I'll probably play b4. And they'll probably. And they can't push up, though. Maybe that's why they're thinking. Because if they do commit, which is what I'm thinking is the best move, it does come with its own set of drawbacks, is now you can't really push. But you could just push b5. No, you can't push b5, though, because you double up. And you can't push b6 because that's free. Yeah, it's not that easy to figure out a way through. I will say that. Although I think it is just a draw if you were to calculate or put it in the engine. Let's go rook here, and then bishop back. Oh, no, and then a6, and then b4, and then bishop back. Yeah, they chose to play it anyways. Because you don't have much other option, honestly. Like, the alternative must be worse there. It must be worse. Let's go up here. Why wouldn't they play b6? If they played b6, it'd be a free pawn on a6, because you'd have two attackers there. That's the reason they're not able to. Oh, you mean maybe before, because if you have the rook on a6, it's too much pressure on a7. If you mean before they even push that way. We can go up here. I think. They're going down. You would have to go back this way. You couldn't go back to a light square. And I like maybe going here. I'm just too slow with the moves, but going here would be nice. That's very, like, they're not playing chess as well if I get that. I don't think that happened. You see, we're down a minute. So they go here. This is instant rook a3. Instant. There's no need to think. And maybe b3 and c4. Oh, that is the next idea, I think. If they go down, whatever they do, there's not an initiative. I think b3 is the next idea. Maybe they push, take. I'm just so worried because their bishop is active. And it does control this diagonal. And my bishop, it is putting pressure, yeah, immediately here. We can save time and not even calculate too much there. Oh, you could push b5. Almost. They could go up. No, but then you could go here. And then take, you would take. They can't take because that's free. The only thing is, it's just trading a pawn at worst. So that's not like a winning tactic or anything. But the idea is okay. Like, the idea works. It's just why do that? Like, what's the point of doing it even if you could just force the C pawns to get traded? And that's not like that's a win. And it gives them a more space to attack me on. I feel like it's only a negative. C5 feels like it's coming in. They move the king over. I will say, they got me there. I'm not sure what to do. They didn't consider that. Bishop d6, so I have to go. I don't want to be behind. So I could go b3. The issue... whatever. Yeah, I just want to go b3. I don't see what else you could do. Bishop in. Oh, they're not even... Oh, you can't push up. What am I talking about? Take... No, you can push up. If they go here, here. Okay, this is not that bad. And if they go b5, then a6 is hanging. That's the one good thing about controlling the file. Like, I just made probably a pretty bad miscalculation. Not bad, but a miscalculation. And it's not going to matter because the reason it'd be bad is because of b5. I didn't even see it, but just having the control of the a file is good. All right, they go up here to c5. Man, I really don't know what the best move is. Well, it probably can't be taking because if the rook gets active, yeah, I think you have to push. If they go up, that feels like another issue. But having them, like the other way had to have been losing. If their rook gets back in the game, that can't be a good thing. Let's go rook over. Attacking here. Now the rook's a little limited. We have this pawn push. We're guarding these squares. Not that those squares are that important right now. Maybe they can be. And like I'm threatening taking this. I don't even know if taking that would be good for me. Because then you have these 3 isolated pawns. Or I guess it's 2 isolated pawns there. But we're about equal on time. That's why I pushed b3 and went for that. I didn't even... Yeah, I didn't even calculate that all the way. So that could be... We'll check in the review. That could be where I went wrong. But I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was down a minute. I just had to make a decision. But it's not... It hasn't turned out that bad. But I think if they just go here, then it's kind of interesting. Because you can't... I don't think you can take this. I think they're not going to take... They're going to leave this here to let me capture. Because when they go bishop back, that feels like that's a good thing. Maybe just having more material is good, though. Because these are double pawns, and they'd have to... They can't attack... Yeah, they could attack on a light square, but we have that defending. We'll see, though. They take it. So they don't feel the same way I feel about it, which is easier. Definitely easier to see it their way. And it's easier on my side when I'm not the one who's losing a pawn. So I'm like, well, that's a good thing. But for them, they're probably like, even if it's doubled, it's not that easy to get to. Because if you win a4... Yeah, and now they have a outside passer. So they really... That makes a lot of sense. So they're probably slightly better right now. Bishop here? No, we can't go bishop here. That's free. So you can see where their idea is now. They have this outside passer. I could go up and then try and get an f4. That could work. And then f4 here and then go up. Try and kick the bishop off this diagonal. And then we can bring it over. Alright, they go up. Oh, they're good. Because you can't go there. There. I think I messed up allowing that. I, for some reason, didn't even see it until after they played it. But I guess if you could get bishop here, you should be able to defend it. Let's go bishop here now. So we're centralized. And we're guarding that square. If they went there first, maybe that's an issue. But now I'd rather play them. I'd rather play black right now. This outside passer is a long-term issue. This is the extra pawn in exchange for that. But this is not that good. Like, this is completely not stoppable without a pawn move. Or with a pawn. And they can stop this with a pawn and a king. If my king was over here on b1, then maybe I'd feel better about it. But yeah, I just have to move faster. Hopefully I'm better at bullet than they are, as the clock is dwindling. And my rating, although I don't feel I'm better that much better at bullet, the rating shows a difference. So maybe that is where it turns around in my favor. Alright, their bishop's going to move up. F4 now feels like you have to play. And let me go here. No, you still can't go here. It's here and then here. Good thing I'm like actually thinking about this, because I'm about to play the wrong move every move. Alright, they slide over. Take. Really? Check. I don't know why they did it that way, because now I can, yeah. King slides. And we can go up and then here. I don't know why I did it that way, because they had the pressure, and you can't bring the rook over, right? That's the issue, because you're cutting off the defense. But letting me check and then exchange it, now this is... They can't ever get there. Their king literally can't go in the center. It's not possible. Take. Take. I mean, there's not really a point in... Honestly, yeah, because this way my king can get to the center quicker. I took too long on calculating it, but I think... Oh, they go this way. Well, they gave me a passer. Huh, was not expecting that, and that does make sense, but I don't know if it makes sense. I get the idea. I don't know. It'll be more interesting now, though, I'll say at least. Bishop... Okay, pawn up. If I go bishop here, then they didn't want to draw the... Oh, what am I doing? They didn't want to draw the game. That's a free pawn. Okay, now I am losing. Dude, how did I miss? That's crazy. I just gave the pawn up for nothing. Now we're down 2 pawns. If I push... I was worried about bishop down, and I end up doing something way worse. Check. They block. That is tough. Alright, we have a minute 16. I can't trade that off, right? That is frustrating. If I was able to push up, I couldn't calculate how that's checkmate. Let's go back here, blocking. Here. They go forward. We can go back this way. Or they just go in. Yeah, I don't think there's a way I can hold this. They're too set up. And you don't want to go here. That's the issue. You can't even move your pieces here. And they just take that there. They have 58 seconds. I think they have enough time to convert this. Check. Just can't get enough pieces around in time. Oh, I should have slid over. I should have slid over for sure. Mm. 46 seconds. I imagine there's enough time for them to get this done. Alright, the king's gonna move. Let's go up, back. And they just want to slide their king in. And eventually there's no way for it. Yeah. You see they have these 3 passers. GG. If I push the pawn up, there's a chance. Yeah, there's a chance that way. I don't think they had to do that, but they do that instead. They probably could have won it anyways. And I imagine with 13 seconds, it's just enough time left. Man, that was so doable. That was so holdable. Over. They want to give a check. Out the way. 6 seconds. Maybe they... I think this is just too much time. No way. Wait, no. I didn't see my time. I did not see my time. All I had to do, bro. I didn't see I had. No. If I just go here. Oh, man. I thought I had more time than I had. Oh, well. We get a loss there. Let's see the review. I can do a couple. That is tough. Bro, no way. All right, let's see. This is the blunder. You could draw, if you push. And I was calculating that. But at the end there, bro, all I have to do, I did not see I had 2 seconds. I'm calculating at 0.9. You just go here. There's no maiden 1. They're not going to get it. Oh, well. We get that loss. And we actually end at the same rating we began at. I can do a couple blitz games. Maybe a few 3-0s, and then, I know, a shorter stream today, but tomorrow will be a longer stream for sure. All right, E4, E5. GG to them. Knight's going to go here for the Petrov. Up here, attacking the knight. Take. D4, D5. Bishop E7. Bishop F5. And this is all. I'll play this now because the computer move is to go knight here. And I have not played it until now. Let's see how that goes. Knight takes. Bishop takes. And then castles. Let's see how this goes. The rook's going to slide over. Bishop gets out the way of the rook's attack. I mean, look to take there. Queen captures. I don't get why this is recommended, but I'm trying it out. Rook slides over to guard this. If they push, you could take here, but this is free. So let's get out the way of losing this. Slide over. Going there, and our knight needs to get somewhere safe. Knight can slide in and then back. That feels like it's not a good long-term solution, but good enough for short-term. You see their queen slides over. This is not free because this is hanging. So it's not free. If we bring our knight somewhere else, though, let's say knight takes. Oh, you could go knight takes, though, because they can't slide over. Knight comes in. Captures. I just don't think there's a checkmate. And the knight's going to get out the way. And then they go over. You could go F3. Pin. F5. I think we'll defend it. Because they en passant, you take the queen. Oh, is my queen trapped, though? Oh, no. I'm saying en passant. My queen's actually trapped. They don't find it. Funnily enough, it doesn't even matter. Because here, the idea is still there of trapping my queen. They don't go for it, though. They're going for something a little more concrete. Let's slide. Yeah. Here. It might be you get a queen. You'll take the bishop at the end. Queen slides down. Yes, an issue is here. What if we go knight here, though? That is an option. Knight here. It might guard it. It guards the rook. If they take, you'll take. The queen's not hanging anymore. But we're down a minute. Capture, queen capture. Rook captures queen. King here. And now you're actually guarding this somehow, with a king on g8. They missed the queen trap earlier. But now we're able to actually hold off this attack. And then we go queen here. And then here. Attacking rook. Then get out the way. Take the bishop. And we've defended. Somehow we defended that attack. We'll take the win. That's a nice win there. And we can do maybe 2 more games. All right, let's see. Playing chess code. We get the black pieces again. After getting white for like 4 straight games, that seems fair. Knight slides up. Take up here to d6, attacking the knight. Take here. Capture. Bishop e7. And the knight folds over this way. h6. And we're going to get this counter attack on the queen side going. Well, I don't know what you... Here, we're attacking that. You can't ever take because they have that idea. So you do it this way. Queen over now is interesting. You're attacking the knight and you're threatening to go in. So a multiple purpose move with queen here to d5. The knight blocks. Queen slides down. And we're looking to get checkmate. So the queen has to move. It has to get out the way. You see they're thinking about it. You're just going to win the pawn here. And then maybe that pawn as well. Or maybe this pawn. They slide out the way, check. Take. But the rook slides over, and then it's really not that bad. I assumed it was better than it is. But we have a kingside castle. We're probably not going to castle to the other way. Is my queen trapped? No way. My queen's actually trapped. We have to get out the way here. Yeah, because if you slide back, knight takes, and you just lose material. You lose a lot of material. Somehow that is... I thought that would have been an amazing tactic what I did. And it's not a good one at all. I would go here trying to hold off, but ultimately we're going to end up losing material. I think that's unavoidable at this point. The best thing is maybe knight here, setting up attacking on c3. If we did weaken their structure here. We're at 2 minutes left. They have a minute 50 left. You see, there is time being spent. Alright, the rook slides over. I do like knight here potentially, but the rook is on b3. That could be an issue. They go rook b3. So knight here. I don't think they go here. Takes that. Can the queen get out at all? Here, there's that. There's no way to save it. Yeah, just have to... Yeah. Yeah, the rook is here. If we take he... Gotcha. The rook is here on b3. If we take... I don't think there's a way out. Might just have to capture this and give up the queen. Maybe the other way is better, though, because now you can't even really keep the bishop. And we can go bishop down here. We could just resign this one, honestly. There's not really another way to do this. They take and you get out the way. I thought that idea of queen d5, queen a2 was a lot better than it ends up being here. I thought it was a gorgeous idea. But with the benefit of hindsight, I can see now that it was just a losing idea. Rook slides over. I would resign, but this is my last game, so I want to try and get a win. Even if it's on the clock, even if it's a little bit of bad conversion. Alright, king's going to slide over. And we have to go up here attacking. We're attacking that pawn there. We're not going to give up. We can go up here. We attack this rook. And setting up checkmate. Yeah, that would make this not worth anything at all. Alright, we slide over with the king. Check up, check up. We just have to try and avoid and escape all of the bad things happening. Rook slides here. Can we get them to make a mistake? They give that check. Alright, when I have the king slide here. Let's get out the way. Maybe king f8 was better. I didn't think that made sense though. Capture. Capture. And yeah. Not looking good. Not looking good here. What can we do? The king slides out the way. There's this mate idea that they're trying to get. What if we go here attacking the bishop and we can get our king to some level of safety? Alright, they attack. I'm going to slide over. Back this way. Guarding the bishop. and then rook here to f8. So they have 16 seconds left. We have made it longer than I think me or they anticipated me surviving this position. No! I missed that there's a mate with this line. Oh, here. Oh no! 0.8 seconds left, but we were able to hold that anyways. But yeah, that'll be the last game of the day. I'll be on tomorrow for the viewer tournaments. I'm excited to get to the next Rapid grind day. Because the most I play Rapid for the most part. Overall, let's see the record. A draw, 2 wins, and 2 losses. Definitely exactly even. That first draw, I should have won. And then this last loss, I could have drawn. And then the wins, I'd say, were pretty good wins. So overall, I think I played decently. No 70% accuracies. Better than some days with no 70%. But yeah, thank you all for tuning into the stream. I'll be on tomorrow, as mentioned. I'm PJ Chess on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram. And PJ Chess 993 on Twitch. Thank you for all the support, and I hope you have